The skin of her hands is cracking because she religiously uses the sanitizer she keeps at the entrance of her on-campus apartment. The sophomore student at Belmont University in Nashville sits in the back corners of her packed classrooms and tries to keep a desk between her and other students. She always wears her mask, even when she is outdoors.
The student, who did not wish to be identified because of fear of losing her on-campus job, told BuzzFeed News that she is terrified because of the lack of COVID protocols at the private Christian university at a time when the Delta variant continues to be a threat. "I'm genuinely scared for my life," said the sophomore student, who is vaccinated but said she has a history of blood clots. "If I get COVID, I could die."
Students told BuzzFeed News that the only COVID protocol in place at Belmont is indoor masking, which they say is rarely enforced outside of classrooms. Vaccination is recommended but not mandated. Social distancing is absent in classes that are at full capacity, and professors are discouraged from conducting remote lessons. Several students and at least one professor believe that on-campus cases are undercounted because testing is voluntary and students and staff are not obligated to report a positive result. Students say they are deterred from reporting their symptoms or positive cases because the university requires them to quarantine off campus at their own expense or at risk to their families.
The contentious debates among parents, governors, and K-12 school boards over COVID protocols has consumed much of the national attention this year. Parents have disrupted board meetings with loud protests, threatened doctors and educators, sued their school districts, and even been arrested for fighting over COVID protocols. But as millions of students returned to college campuses, where cases are often underreported and COVID approaches differ drastically, several universities have pushed for an increasingly normal fall term with in-person learning and events, forcing students and faculty to advocate for themselves. While the number of COVID cases in Davidson County, for which Nashville is the county seat, has decreased recently after a surge in September, the infection rate is still very high, and the CDC recommends masks even for vaccinated residents because of the high spread, according to the New York Times tracker. The daily average number of cases in the county is 197, and there have been at least 39 deaths in the last 2 weeks, the Times reported. Belmont students and staff say their concerns over the lack of COVID protocols have been ignored by the administration, which is headed by a new president who, as one faculty member described it, has a flippant approach to the pandemic. President Gregory Jones has thrown out nearly all of last year's precautions, including messaging about social distancing and hand-washing signs in the bathroom, the faculty member told BuzzFeed News. And according to students, Jones was seen maskless at an on-campus indoor event, flouting the one COVID rule he has kept in place. The administration is not taking COVID seriously at all. Another student, who did not wish to be identified because he was afraid of losing his scholarship, told BuzzFeed News in an email, "I really truly believe that the president of the school only has his eyes on the politics of the school, not the students." In response to specific questions about its COVID protocols, Belmont provided a statement to BuzzFeed News, saying, "The health and safety of Belmont students, faculty, and staff is always a priority and at the forefront of our minds as we try to provide students with an in-person living and learning experience this term." The statement said that the university's COVID-19 task force, which is in contact with Jones and the state health department, monitors conditions and case counts on campus and in Nashville and uses these inputs to evaluate protocols on a regular basis. Belmont's community is finding other avenues to express its anger and fear over the lack of COVID protocols. An immunocompromised nursing student started a petition urging Belmont to strengthen its COVID policies and mandate the vaccine. Many students, afraid of repercussions for openly criticizing the university, have resorted to submitting complaints anonymously to a Twitter account called Belmont Confessions.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.